Have you ever seen your dog bark at nothing, just standing there, staring into space, growling like something's there, but you don't see a thing? It feels strange, maybe even a little scary. But what if your dog isn't just being weird? What if they're sensing something real, something you can't detect? Dogs do this more often than we realize. They pace, they whine, they hide under furniture, or stare at the door long before a sound ever comes. Some people ignore it. Others think it's just dog stuff. But what if it's not? What if these small, strange behaviors are signs of danger? Danger they sense, and you don't. Because here's the truth. Dogs live in a different world than we do. Not a magical one, a sharper one. Their ears, their nose, even their body, all tuned to signals we can't hear, smell, or feel. While we scroll, talk, or sleep, they're alert. In this video, we'll explore the hidden ways dogs detect threats before we do, and why humans lost that ability long ago. And if you stay with me to the end, you'll learn how to better read the signals your dog gives, and maybe even learn how to sense danger a little more like they do. A long time ago, humans were more like dogs than you might think. We didn't have phones, alarms, or cameras. We had to listen to the wind, watch the sky, and stay close to our animals. Our survival depended on being aware of every sound, every shadow, every sudden silence. We were connected to the world around us and trusted our gut. But as time passed, we changed. We built homes and cities, we made machines to warn us about danger, and slowly we stopped using our senses. We stopped listening to that quiet feeling that says, something's not right. We began to trust tools more than our instincts. Dogs didn't change like we did. They stayed close to their senses. Even though they live in our homes and sleep on our beds, their instincts are still strong. They don't need proof to react. They don't second guess what they feel. If something feels off, they act. That's why your dog might bark before a storm, or hide before an earthquake, or growl when someone feels wrong. We see confusion, but they might be seeing danger. Let's start with their nose. Because for dogs, smell is everything. While humans have about 5 million scent receptors, dogs have up to 300 million. Their sense of smell is so powerful, they can detect a drop of blood in a swimming pool. Imagine walking into a room and being able to smell stress, fear, or sickness. That's what dogs do, every single day. They don't just smell objects, they smell emotion. When someone is scared, their body releases certain chemicals. Dogs pick up on that. When you're anxious, your dog knows, not from your voice, but from your scent. They even know when you're sick. Some dogs are trained to smell cancer or low blood sugar. But many untrained dogs react to these things naturally without ever being taught. This ability becomes even more amazing when it comes to danger. There are countless stories of dogs barking, pacing, or hiding hours before a natural disaster, like an earthquake or a gas leak. They're not guessing. They're reacting to changes in the air, shifts in the ground, smells that we can't detect. Your dog might not speak your language, but their nose tells them stories we'll never hear. Now think about what your dog hears. Humans can hear sounds between 20 and 20,000 hertz. That's not bad, but dogs? They can hear up to 65,000 hertz. That means they catch high-pitched sounds we'll never notice. A quiet squeak, a distant footstep, or the buzz of electricity in the wall, all loud and clear to them. This is why your dog sometimes perks up its ears or runs to the door before you hear anything. It's not magic, it's hearing. Some dogs even react before a thunderstorm, long before the thunder. That's because they hear the low rumbles or feel tiny changes in pressure that we miss. They also pick up on vibrations, a small tremble in the floor, the hum of something moving outside, the shift in your voice when you're nervous. Their hearing helps them scan their world constantly, even when they seem relaxed. So when your dog suddenly stands still, stares into the dark, or growls at nothing, maybe it's not nothing. Maybe they're picking up on something real, something your ears just aren't built to catch. Dogs also speak in a silent language, not with words, but with actions. And every little action means something. When your dog paces back and forth, hides under the bed, or refuses to go into a certain room, It's easy to think they're just acting strange, but often they're reacting to something they feel, something invisible to you, but very real to them. Their body gives you clues. Ears back, they're worried. Tail tucked, they feel unsafe. Whining or yawning too much, that's stress. These signs might not seem serious, but to a dog, they're part of a warning system. Their behavior is how they tell you something doesn't feel right. Dogs can sense changes in your mood too. If you're upset, they may come close. If you're scared, they might stand in front of you. If you're calm, they relax. It's not because they understand your words. It's because they feel your energy. So when your dog acts off, don't just brush it aside. That behavior might be their way of protecting you. They're not just reacting, they're trying to tell you something, the only way they know how. Sometimes a dog's warning comes before something big. There are stories of dogs barking non-stop hours before an earthquake hit. Others refused to go into a room where a gas leak was later found. Some have even pulled their owners away from danger, like stopping them from walking into a street or leading them out of a house just before a fire broke out. Science doesn't have all the answers yet, but we do know dogs can sense tiny changes in air pressure, ground vibrations, and even magnetic fields. These are things humans can't feel at all, but dogs react to them, often before we even know something's wrong. They might start panting when the sky is clear, or pace the room long before a storm begins. It looks strange from the outside, but to your dog, it's real, it's instinct, and it might just save a life. That's why it's important to take these signs seriously, because what seems like a weird moment to you could be the moment your dog is trying to protect you in the only way they know how. Over time, we've learned to ignore these signals, not just from dogs, but from ourselves too. We wait for confirmation, for alerts, for someone else to tell us what's wrong. But dogs don't need proof. They trust what they feel. If something feels off, they respond. No second guessing, no delay. Humans, on the other hand, tend to explain things away. We say the dog is just being dramatic. We think it's probably nothing. We shut the window, change the topic, and move on. But dogs stay alert. They're tuned into the world in a way we've forgotten. Technology has made life easier, but it's also made us less aware. We check our phones more than our surroundings. We rely on apps to tell us the weather or if something's wrong. Meanwhile, our dogs are already reacting, already feeling what we can't see. Maybe we didn't lose the ability to sense danger. Maybe we just stopped listening. But the good news is, your dog never stopped listening. They've been paying attention the whole time, to the quiet sounds, to the shifts in your mood, to the tiny changes in the air or ground. They're watching even when you're not. That means you still have a chance to reconnect, not by turning into a dog, but by observing them. Watch how they move when something feels wrong. Notice their reactions to strangers, to storms, to silence. They're always telling you something, if you're willing to notice. Start by slowing down. Turn off distractions. Sit with your dog. Listen to what their body is saying. The more you notice, the more they'll trust you. And over time, you might begin to feel what they feel, even before anything happens. Your dog isn't just your pet. They're your early warning system, your silent protector, and maybe, without even knowing it, your guide back to something humans once had and deeply need again. If this made you stop and think, even for a moment, about the way your dog acts, then maybe you're already seeing the world a little differently. Because their world isn't filled with noise and confusion, it's filled with signals, with instincts, with truth we've forgotten how to feel. Your dog isn't barking for no reason. They aren't pacing because they're bored. They're reacting to something real, something they can sense even if you can't. So the next time your dog growls at the door, or hides in a corner, or stares into the silence, pause. Don't rush past it. Don't shrug it off. That moment might be more important than you think. And if this helped you see that If it helped you understand your dog just a little more, you can stick around. There's more to uncover, more ways to connect with your pet, more truths buried in the simple things they do every day. Because once you start noticing, everything changes.